It was meant to be a summer of royal triumph, a season filled with feel-good headlines, grand public celebrations, and reaffirmed traditions that would blanket Britain with the sparkling sheen of unity. Instead, a scandal detonated inside the walls of Buckingham Palace, setting off shockwaves that have roiled across the nation. Headlines flashed the staggering truth: the monarchy's taxpayer funding was about to skyrocket to an unprecedented record. The jaw-dropping figure, £132 million per year, has landed like a thunderclap against the grim backdrop of a historic cost-of-living crisis, igniting fierce outrage, and what many are already calling the greatest legitimacy crisis that the British royal family has faced in modern memory. Inside the palace, panic smoulders beneath the elegant veneer. Courtiers scramble desperately to justify this enormous windfall with phrases like vital for heritage preservation and essential for national unity, but these words ring hollow in a country where millions face freezing winters, unaffordable rents, and rising food prices. Across Britain, from the impassioned debates raging in Parliament to viral social media protests, the same searing question echoes: why are ordinary families tightening their belts and making painful sacrifices while King Charles and Prince William prepare to pocket an extra £50 million every year for private estates, extensive renovations, and an expanded security detail? Those closest to power describe the mood as siege-like. No one wants to be the face of this announcement, not even Charles himself, admits a long-serving advisor. The optics are terrible, and everyone knows the nation is furious. The timing could not be worse. Britain's National Health Service is stretched dangerously thin, welfare provisions face brutal cuts, and public education hangs in precarious balance. Yet amidst this, royal finances spike by almost 60%. The sovereign grant, money drawn directly from taxpayers' pockets, is slated to fund the refurbishment of centuries-old palaces, lavish state banquets, new luxury vehicles, bespoke security systems, and nebulous heritage preservation, with no meaningful breakdown or public audit of how much supports the Windsor's personal comfort. For King Charles and Prince William, the fury is deeply personal. Public trust polls plummet, especially among younger generations. They are mocked online, where memes circulate relentlessly depicting gold-leaf bathrooms, fur-lined cloaks, and diamond tiaras, each ringed by stark images of food bank queues and pensioners struggling to cope. "It's Marie Antoinette at Windsor," tweets a viral commentator, encapsulating a growing sense that the monarchy risks irreparable damage. Parliament has taken notice. The pressure for transparency grows louder every day. Calls for a full forensic audit of royal spending now echo from all sides of the aisle. Labour politicians and increasing numbers of Conservatives urge sweeping reforms that could, for the first time, compel the Windsors to open their financial books completely. Some allege that millions nominally allocated for public heritage end up channeled discreetly to trusts and funds buying luxury upgrades and private indulgences. Economists and legal experts have weighed in, exposing the real power and privilege nested within arcane historic frameworks. The Duchy of Lancaster, Charles's private estate, and the Duchy of Cornwall, Prince William's domain, reportedly generate tens of millions annually in private revenues, enjoying tax exemptions and regulatory loopholes denied to ordinary citizens. These are not symbolic landmarks, warns a financial watchdog source. They are vast, lucrative enterprises that should not be subsidized by the public. The political stakes are sky-high, and palace corridors crackle with fear. Some whisper of an impending constitutional crisis. If public rage boils over, might Parliament seize royal lands, cap incomes, or even legislate an end to all taxpayer funding? Across Europe, monarchies face a new age of accountability and downsizing. The British royals' refusal to embrace such openness risks a devastating fall from favour. Simmering behind the PR spin, an intense internal struggle unfolds. Prince William, the modernizer, aggressively pushes for radical budget transparency, slimmed royal rosters, and public humility. King Charles, steeped in tradition, resists fiercely, fearing he will be forced to bow submissively to mob justice and damage the crown's mystique. Heated late-night debates reportedly rage over strategy for riding out the storm. The press revels in incredible detail. £20 million is disclosed for urgent palace repairs, gilded salons, secret wine vaults restored to full splendor. Countless millions flow toward flying private doctors and stylists to remote estates. An unaccounted mountain of personal security expenses covers armored limousines, extensive staff hush money, and efforts to quell negative press campaigns. Meanwhile, Queen Consort Camilla and Princess Catherine are pulled into tightly controlled public shows of modesty, budget-conscious outfits recycled for multiple appearances, staged visits to food banks, carefully scripted speeches on everyday struggles. The ironic sharpness of this public humility, amidst leaked images of opulent palace life and luxury vacations, is not lost on an increasingly cynical British public. Outrage spreads wildly. Opposition politicians demand no more blank checks, while grassroots campaigners flood social media with #CutTheCrown and related hashtags. The earliest serious discourse on dissolving or radically curtailing the sovereign grant has begun, threatening what was once the untouchable economic foundation of the monarchy. Classic royal strategies, silence, lofty speeches, charity distractions, feel hopelessly outdated. For the first time in decades, senior royals openly fear that without decisive reform, public backlash could stall not just funds, but the very existence of the monarchy in its present form. The stakes have never been higher. It is adapt, reveal, and reform, or risk losing not only millions, but the legitimacy and survival of the crown itself. This crisis is more than accounting. It is a stark mirror reflecting the growing gulf between the monarchy and the British people it claims to serve. Amid soaring energy bills and stagnant wages, revelations of royal excess sting bitterly. Protests multiply, heated parliamentary debates intensify, and viral social media campaigns amplify unprecedented demands for complete transparency and fiscal accountability. Within palatial walls, pressure reaches straining point. Staff recount an unprecedented wave of media and internal scrutiny. Loyalty, once implicit, is tested daily as aides navigate a maze of secrecy, shifting alliances, and scandal management. Private conversations echo fears that even long-standing devotion may no longer withstand the public tide. Financial experts observing the labyrinthine structure of royal assets describe with alarm the sophistication of wealth shielding, offshore trusts, charitable donations rerouted, complex property arrangements designed to obscure flows and ownership. The Windsor property empire rivals some of the globe's most formidable tycoons. Yet the public knows little beyond selective disclosures. Newly leaked documents reveal palaces once heralded as national treasures used as financial instruments with little transparency. Lavish restoration projects, many completed behind closed palace doors, leave critics aghast. What is the point of heritage if spending seems so disconnected from the public's hardship? Extravagance at this scale feels profoundly tone-deaf. Political fires rake the monarchy. Opposition demands escalate, with proposals to replace grants with fixed funds reviewed by Parliament annually, aimed at curbing excess and restoring trust. Divisions deepen internally. William champions modernization and openness, mindful survival hinges on public confidence. Charles, the embodiment of tradition, hesitates, wary of radical shifts. The tension between father and son, between old and new, is palpable. Public perception tilts uneasily. Polls reveal rising distrust and diminishing mystique. Royal missteps now fuel an online culture that eats away at centuries-old reverence. Financial scandals and public anger swirl, enveloping the family in an ever-tightening storm. Defensive royal responses only stir sharper questioning about their fitness to lead or represent. This saga transcends money. It defines a crossroads for a global institution that once symbolized continuity, now facing an existential test. The world watches as Parliament engages, journalists expose, and public sentiment evolves. Will the monarchy emerge renewed? Or will decades of unaccountability unravel a dynasty reaching for relevance? This story is far from done. Buckingham Palace's gates tremble under the weight of history in the making, as secrets emerge and destinies are forged anew. Stay with us. The Crown's future is being written now, and every revelation counts. If you want even more detailed layers, narrative hooks, or estimates of word count for scripts of video length, I'm ready to assist.